In Wisconsin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has filed a lawsuit trying to get his name removed from the presidential ballot after the state elections commission voted to keep him on it. Kennedy ended his campaign last month and endorsed Republican candidate Donald Trump. After that, he vowed to get his name removed from ballots in battleground states like Wisconsin. In the lawsuit, Kennedy argues third-party candidates are discriminated against because state law treats Republicans and Democrats running for president differently. And in state law, it is important to note there is no way to get your name as a third-party candidate off the ballot once you've submitted those papers, which happened last month.